Hi everyone, Raani here. You're listening to Clean With Me, the podcast where I talk you through cleaning your house. Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I'm going to talk you through decluttering a bedroom. In case you're new to the show, this is a show where I talk you through cleaning your house. Most episodes are about an hour long. And in those episodes, we do a little bit in each area of your home. However, this is a specialized episode for decluttering a bedroom. Maybe you want to clean your own bedroom, or maybe you want to prepare a bedroom for guests. Now, you may be wondering, how am I going to get this done in 20 minutes? You may not, okay? If your bedroom really needs attention, or the bedroom you'll be working on really needs a lot of attention, you're not going to get it done. However, what I am promising you is that you're going to walk away with a game plan. I'm going to at least get you started on it. So let's get right into the episode. Before you start decluttering the room that you'll be working in, you're going to need to gather up some supplies. You're going to need some trash bags, and then you're going to need some donation bags or boxes. And if you're like me, if you're using bags for all of it, your donation bags are going to look different than your trash bags, or you're going to get confused. However, you may have a lot of boxes lying around. If you've been ordering gifts from Amazon or wherever, and then putting those boxes out in the garage, now might be the time to put those to use and put some items into those boxes. So whether you want to deal in bags, boxes, piles, you want a system to where you have at least 3 categories. You have trash that you're throwing away. If your room's super clean, you won't relate to the trash part. Okay, but you may have trash, and you may be surprised about the trash that you find once you get into the project. But trash bag, donation bag, and then the third category could be something that you're giving to a specific person. Because when I'm talking about donations, I'm talking more about something that you would put in the back of your car and drop off at a charity. However, there might be someone who you hand things down to, or give things to, someone you know. So that might be a different category. And then there could be a fourth category, but I'm not going to say to put that in a container. I'm going to say maybe to just put that out in the hallway. Stuff that needs to be redistributed around the house, I would say put it into the hallway just to get it out of the bedroom. Now, confession time. When I tell myself that I'm going to declutter a room, I almost inevitably start to look at the clothes hanging in my closet that I haven't worn in a while, or start opening my drawers, or even start folding that pile of clean laundry in my room. And I don't always get down to the matter of cleaning the visible parts of the room. Okay, I don't know what it is, but I procrastinate on that sometimes, and I'm not this way in other areas of my house. It's like my bedroom is the final frontier sometimes, where I just don't get to everything. And don't get me wrong, there are times that, my room looks pretty good, but for some reason, when I tell myself I'm going to declutter my room, I go into this I go too deep, basically, and start, looking in the closet and the drawers and things like that. And there's a time for that, but as we're preparing for the holidays, I'm going to assume that you might be getting your room ready for Christmas guests. Okay, my mom and her husband are literally going to be staying in my bedroom. So I'm kind of talking about my own game plan to see if that inspires someone else. And I'm waiting till this weekend to really get into the project because I have a lot to do this week. So if you're wanting to just do some dishes or something, maybe listen to one of my other episodes. I talk about dishes in almost every episode. As long as it doesn't say bedroom or decluttering, you're almost always going to be doing the dishes 5 minutes after starting the show. But this is for cleaning out a room. So once you have your trash bags and your donation bags or boxes and maybe something to put other items in that are for a specific person or a specific charity that you participate in, you're ready to get started. So don't get sidetracked by looking at the items. If you're like me and sometimes you don't put your clothes back where they go, there could be times where you look in your closet and think, the items that are still hanging up are things that I almost never wear. Okay, don't worry about that right now. We're not going to get sidetracked by that. We are going to get your room looking good. There's a time for decluttering drawers, closets, things like that. But we need to get your room free of clutter so that you'll be able to focus on things like wiping down baseboards, cleaning windowsills, vacuuming out the track of your sliding glass door if you have one of those on the room. And you're not going to want to do that stuff until you remove the surface clutter. So what I want you to do is pick a corner of your room and start there. Now, if you're storing things along the walls, which I'm guilty of right now, that's not good. You have a closet for that. You have a shelf on the top of your closet, probably, for that. You could be storing certain items under your bed. The only items that should be touching your floor, for the most part, I mean, obviously, the exception proves the rule, but for the most part, I mean, I've got a play yard / playpen, whatever you call it, for when my grandson comes over. But that could be viewed as baby furniture, so that does fall into the category of furniture. However, just boxes and piles and things along walls are not ideal and not conducive to a welcoming guest room, or even just a room that's nice and clean for yourself. Even if you're not having guests, don't tune me out. This room needs attention. Whatever room came to your mind needs attention. So anyway, pick a corner to start in. If you're not storing things around the edges of your room along the walls, then you may want to just start picking up the floor in general. Laundry, shoes. I mean, the laundry you're finding on the floor is going to be either clean or dirty. And if you need an area to kind of sort through laundry, I encourage you to just quickly make your bed, because that could be a nice staging area for laundry. However, if you have a huge backlog of clean laundry, let's not get sidetracked with that either. Just consolidate that pile, because this is not a laundry episode. We're trying to get your room decluttered. So things to look out for, like I said, are items that are being stored along the walls, boxes, piles. And if you don't have that, go ahead and just start picking up your floor. Get the dirty clothes to the hamper, maybe put the clean items on your bed to be folded or hung up later. But the goal here is to remove everything from your bedroom floor. And yes, you may have been procrastinating on this, but no, it's not going to take as long as you thought. Now, maybe you're saying, my side of the bed is clear. However, my husband's side of the bed has a lot of clutter. He has these piles. I don't know what to do with this stuff. Well, here's the thing. Remember the boxes we talked about? Maybe you could grab a Sharpie and just write on one of the boxes, write your husband's name or significant other's name on one of the boxes and put those items that are not being stored properly into the box. I will admit that my husband has cleaned our room before and just made a pile of items that he didn't know what to do with, and then said, here, you need to go through this stuff, okay? And I can do the same with him. The important thing is that you don't throw away or donate items that don't belong to you. Now, obviously, if I find a t-shirt of his that has holes in it or something, I know he'd want me to go ahead and toss that. But in most cases, if I don't know what something is and it doesn't belong to me, I'm not going to throw that away. So maybe there's going to be a box for that. Okay, I'm giving you something to do with all these boxes you have sitting in your garage. Okay, let's sort this stuff out right now. And sometimes, I'll admit this, we both have a corner near our nightstand, but the actual corner of the room, sometimes his corner gets worse than mine, and sometimes mine gets worse. But we both have a corner where we tend to kind of pile things. So maybe that's relatable to you. Be working on picking up your room. I can't believe it's 11 days till Christmas. People always count down till Christmas, but to me, the real deadline is Christmas Eve. Our family opens gifts on Christmas Eve. And actually, if I'm going to be honest with myself, my deadline is 9 days from now or 8 days from now, because I have company arriving on the 23rd. So my house needs to look pretty good on the 22nd. So anyway, I'm recording this episode on December 14th. So 10 days till Christmas Eve, folks. That might be when your guests are arriving if you're having guests. If not, you still might be busy. If you celebrate Christmas, you still might be busy with the shopping and whatnot. I'm almost done with my Christmas shopping. I kind of dread that question when people say, "Are y'all ready for Christmas?" I mean, don't be mad if you're the type of person who asks that question. But I'm just not one of these people who's completely ready for Christmas way in advance. But I'm to a point where most of it's done, and I've got a list of, like, as far as shopping, I'm not that close to done, okay, with everything. But most of my shopping is done, but like the last 3 items on my list are things that I can pick up real quickly at a certain store or order online, and they're things that the stores aren't going to run out of. That's a thing in my town. Like, if you're shopping for toys or electronics, you don't wait. You get those way in advance. But the type of things that are still on my list are going to be easily accessible to me at the last minute. So I feel relaxed as far as the shopping is concerned. The bulk of my shopping is done. No, I'm not ready for Christmas. Nobody has even asked me that yet this year. It's a common thing. By the way, special thanks to my listeners in Great Britain. Okay, I know I have people listening all over the world. I know the majority of listeners are in the United States. However, I have a growing following in Great Britain, and you guys are helping my rankings by subscribing and giving me good reviews on Apple Podcasts and other apps that you listen on. And I appreciate that so much. So Great Britain, I do see you. And we share some ancestors back in medieval times, okay? So I appreciate you. Anyway, let's see here. Right now I've got you working on the floors. Another floor issue could be under your bed. Now, maybe you're one of these people who has nothing under your bed, or you have some of those flat storage containers where you store your summer clothes in the winter and your winter clothes in the summer. But if you're like me, you have a huge bed and somehow clutter shows up under the bed. It could be a shoe that gets kicked under there. It could be something that the dog drags under there. But the way I deal with that, my bed is too heavy for me to even move. And no, I'm not that weak, but the headboard and footboard are made out of logs. It's like a rustic bed. It's super heavy. So the way I deal with that, if you can just easily move your bed, if it's lightweight, great. But if you can't, the way I deal with that is using a broom or a mop to reach under there and just kind of drag things out. So, ideally you're going to want to vacuum it and whatnot, but if it's a king size bed, that's kind of hard to do. So you want to at least remove anything that's down there. And obviously, I said not to go real deep, but you've got to clean out under your bed. You just have to. That's not a super deep clean. Make sure that you pull things out from under your bed if that applies to your situation. And maybe you've been procrastinating on this one room for a while. I feel like even people with clean houses sometimes have that one room, that one dungeon that they just don't get to. It could be an extra bedroom. It could be a sewing room, it could be a guest room, or it could be your own bedroom. And this episode isn't really about a kid bedroom because I feel like we deal with the kids' bedrooms more often and we have the kids to help us with that or to take care of that on their own depending on how old they are. And, we worry more over our kids' rooms and then kind of put ourselves last. So this is for your bedroom, a guest room, an office, a storage room. And sometimes your bedroom is your guest room, office, and storage room. That's the case for me right now. I used to have one of my kids' rooms as a guest room. At any given time, at least one of my kids had a queen size bed or a full size bed, where a couple could sleep if they came to visit and then, put the kids out on the couch or in a different room with their sibling. However, recently I was down to one king size bed in one of the bedrooms, and my son, who's almost 11, didn't like having a huge bed. He wanted more space in his room. So we got rid of that bed. And obviously our day-to-day life is more important than having our house ready for overnight guests because that's not something that happens as often. It's not something you're obligated to do. Another thing that I had in the past was a sofa bed. I really do like the idea of having a couch in the living room that turns into a bed, and I had that for a few years, but that couch got severely damaged, and the other thing about it is it was super hard to move. It was super heavy, so it was hard to move it to clean. It was hard to move it when we moved to different houses, and it ended up getting broken, I think, from being moved so many times because it was just awkwardly heavy. But, when you stay at people's houses, you don't expect them to necessarily have a dedicated bedroom. And, if you can't have your house ready for overnight guests, they can always stay at a nearby hotel or whatever if they don't want to crash on your couch. You're not obligated to have a guest room at all times. So I'm just throwing that out there. Don't feel guilty if you're like me and your kid doesn't want to have a large bed. They just want a twin bed in their room so that they can play. By all means, your house is for the people who live in it, and that's your priority. So anyway, what I decided is that my guest room is now my room or our travel trailer, because we do now have a travel trailer. So what we're planning to do, and B, removing clutter from your bedroom floor. Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you don't have anything along the walls. What you can be doing right now is moving to the surfaces. Pick one nightstand or one TV stand or one dresser, clear that off, and then move to the next surface. Okay, that's the next step, is working on those surfaces. Wow, 20 minutes has already gone by. I guess this is going to be a 30-minute episode because I want you to clear those surfaces in addition to clearing the floor. And when you get done with picking up the floor, clearing all of your surfaces, you're going to wipe down those surfaces. You're also going to wipe out your windowsills, clean your baseboards, stuff like that. And if you want to reward yourself for a job well done, maybe go on Facebook, pick a few of your favorite, don't turn this into a huge project, you don't have time right now, but pick a few of your favorite pictures on whatever social media platform you use, pictures from this year that are special to you, and send them to the nearest drugstore. For us, it's Walgreens or Walmart. Send them to get them developed and then go pick them up later, and then buy a little group frame and put them in that frame and then hang that up. I did that recently, just some highlights of our year, the people, who are close to me, and just recent pictures of them from this year. And it really brightened up my home. I actually hung it in the living room, not the bedroom. But I'm just saying a project like that is well deserved after a big decluttering or cleaning project you've been procrastinating on. Anyway, back to the whole guest room thing. For Christmas, my mom and her husband are coming. I'm going to let them sleep in our room, in our bed, and then my husband and I are going to sleep in our bedroom in the travel trailer, and then kind of in the living area of the travel trailer, there are two beds. There's the little dining room booth that turns into a bed, and then there's a couch that turns into a bed. And my son-in-law and my daughter and their kids, their two kids that they have together, will be out in the trailer, and then his two teenagers are probably going to crash out on the couches in the house. So my kids like this because they all get to stay in their rooms. No one's displaced. And so except for us, which is not a big deal, because when we go camping, we kind of move into that, when we go camping, we stay in our travel trailer. So it's our home away from home. So there are a few things that we will pack as if we were going on a trip and put out in the trailer that's going to be in our front yard. So that's kind of our new system. But again, if you can't always accommodate overnight guests, the important thing is just you offer to let them stay at your house. Hey, you guys can crash on our couch if you want. Like if you don't have a, large bed and a bedroom for them dedicated just for them, that's okay. I'm giving you permission to just offer them the accommodations that you do have. Another way to accommodate guests is sometimes with an inflatable mattress. I feel like that always goes south. I'm reluctant to say it though. Like somebody puts you on an inflatable mattress and the thing leaks or something. But, if you get a good quality one and you trust it, that's another way to accommodate guests in whatever room. So anyway, I hope that you've removed clutter from your bedroom floor, including along walls. Some of it was probably trash. Some of it you didn't know what to do with. So maybe you put it in a donation box. If you don't want to commit to donating some stuff, you can always just put it in a box and stick that box in the closet or out in the garage. Wait a while, see if you even miss that stuff, okay, before donating it. You have to start cleaning out your closet. However, one exception, I do want you to straighten up your closet floor because especially if you have a walk-in closet, I want you to be able to walk in. I guess this doesn't apply as much if you have a closet where you just open it up, your clothes are right there, and you're storing some stuff down in the bottom. That's probably okay because you don't need to stand in there. But if you're having guests and the bottom of your closet looks real cluttered, I have to warn you, they might open that closet because they might want to hang up something of their own. So it's a good idea to tidy up your closet and have some empty hangers so that they have a place to, maybe push your stuff off to one side and leave them a place where they can hang that special Christmas outfit or whatever that they don't want to get wrinkled in their suitcase. So be forewarned that the closet might be an issue. Again, this isn't the time to start sorting through your wardrobe, but maybe you need to just straighten up the floor of your closet, especially if it's a walk-in closet. Hopefully, if you haven't already done so, you're wiping down the surfaces. So once you've just one nightstand at a time dealt with everything on there, don't procrastinate. You've got to make a decision, make a quick decision about what to do with items. There's obvious trash that you're going to throw away, empty water bottles, things like that are going to get tossed. Maybe it's a recycle bag if you have, a separate container for that at your house. But let's remove things that do not belong on the nightstands. Let's not get used to things just being on the nightstands. Okay? Your nightstand should probably have a lamp, maybe an alarm clock if you don't just use your phone for that. Maybe a little notepad and a pen. Think hotel room. Like, what is on the nightstand at a hotel? It's like there's a phone, there's, I guess, a menu from local places. There's like a little binder with a menu from local places. You don't need that at your house. You can tell your guests where to go if they're looking for something. But anyway, you can tell them about local businesses. So maybe a notepad and a pen, maybe a lamp. I like to leave bottles of water, unopened water bottles for my guests. But there just shouldn't be random items on your nightstand. That's what your nightstand drawer is for. And I get it. If your drawer is super full, then you're thinking, I need to clean that out. Let's not do that right now, because the first step is dealing with what is seen. Once you do that, then you can clean out a drawer or sort through some clothes, but you're going to become overwhelmed if you dive into these deep decluttering projects in the midst of a messy room. Okay? So again, hopefully you've removed all clutter from the floor, including items, piles, boxes, items that are not furniture stored along the walls. Hopefully you've pulled out everything from under your bed, dealt with it, made quick decisions about it, gotten it into boxes, even if it's just a box that's going to be shoved in the closet to be sorted through later. Hopefully you have some things out in your hallway that didn't belong in your room to begin with and need to be redistributed around the house. Make sure you deal with that. Don't leave that pile. And hopefully you've wipe down your surfaces with whatever you use to dust, whether it's a damp cloth, a disinfecting wipe, a special dusting spray if you have fancy furniture. If you have extra time after the episode, maybe sort through a drawer or wipe down your baseboards and clean your windowsills. Vacuum out the track of your sliding glass door when you vacuum or sweep your room. And then lastly, and I realize you may not be done, but hopefully you're at least on a roll right now. When you do get done with your room and it looks super nice, reward yourself with a fun decor project. Whether that means going to Dollar Tree for more Christmas decorations, or like I said, developing like 8 or 9 pictures and then purchasing a group frame and displaying those special pictures on your wall. I feel like now that we're all on social media, we don't develop pictures as often. They just kind of live online. but it's nice to have those pictures hanging up. And yeah, especially it could be thoughtful to display pictures of the people who are actually coming to visit you, or maybe just the family members that live in your house, just to kind of showcase those special moments like what I did. I hope you got a lot done during this episode. I hope I've at least given you a game plan for cleaning your bedroom or that other neglected bedroom in your home, or preparing or the bedroom that you need to prepare for guests. I hope I've inspired you. Don't forget to put away any resulting piles, maybe hang up the clean clothes that ended up on your bed. Don't forget to kind of recover from this project by doing some last minute straightening. By the way, thank you so much for listening. Thanks to everyone who's given a positive review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you use. Special thanks to our financial supporters, but most of all, just thank you for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to put a link to our Patreon in the show notes. And as always, happy cleaning. I'll talk to you in the next episode.